The SCF is a more efficient way to operationalize cybersecurity and data privacy operations by simplifying the underlying controls that power an organization's cybersecurity program. The reality is that most organizations struggle with defining the minimum security requirements that are necessary to address both their compliance obligations and needs for secure practices. The SCF provides a straightforward and scalable method to define those must-have and nice-to-have requirements into a holistic control set to operationalize cybersecurity operations, risk management, and third-party governance. There is no cost to use the SCF, and quite a few governance, risk, and compliance platforms natively support the SCF as a built-in control set. In simple terms, the SCF is a meta-framework where it is a catalog of controls made up of over 200 cybersecurity and data privacy laws, regulations, and frameworks. This control catalog contains roughly 1,400 controls and is logically organized into 33 domains. The structure of the SCF normalizes disparate control language into something that is usable across technology, cybersecurity, privacy, and other departments where they can share the same control language. The SCF enables not only intra-organization standardization, but inter-organization standardization, where Control Gov 03 means the same thing to one organization to any other organization using the SCF. This is truly unique to the SCF. However, the SCF is more than just a control set. Each control has a control weighting to help understand risk, since not all controls are the same. There is a built-in risk catalog and threat catalog, where those risks and threats are mapped to SCF controls. There is a capability maturity model to help define what right looks like for your organization, a risk management model to enable holistic risk management practices at the control level, and an evidence request list to define expected assessment artifacts that would be reasonably expected to satisfy controls. We even have assessment objectives to help provide objective criteria that can be used to assess controls. The sweet spot for the SCF is medium to large organizations, but it has been successfully used by small organizations. Any organization with complex compliance requirements can benefit from using the SCF. We are just trying to make it easier for cybersecurity practitioners to do their jobs, since we all benefit from organizations having better security practices in place. The SCF is made up of volunteers who are specialists within the cybersecurity profession, who have a focus on governance, risk, and compliance, and the cybersecurity side of data privacy. These are auditors, engineers, architects, incident responders, consultants, and other specialists who live and breathe these topics on a daily basis. The end product is the expert-derived content that makes up the SCF. The SCF is a Rosetta Stone approach to cybersecurity and privacy controls, which makes it the Common Controls Framework. The concept of the SCF is to have a meta-framework, a framework of frameworks that is capable of addressing the broader people, processes, technology, data, and facilities, also referred to as PPTDF, that are what controls fundamentally exists to govern. The SCF can be used to assist with strategic planning, down to tactical needs that impact the people, processes, and technologies directly impacting your organization. Using the SCF should be viewed as a long-term tool to not only help with compliance-related efforts, but to ensure security and privacy principles are properly designed, implemented, and maintained. The SCF helps implement a holistic approach to protecting the confidentiality, integrity, availability, and safety (CIAS) of your data, systems, applications, and other processes. Understanding the requirements for both cybersecurity and privacy principles involves a simple process of distilling expectations. This process is all part of documenting reasonable expectations that are right-sized for an organization, since every organization has unique requirements. The approach looks at the statutory obligations, regulatory obligations, contractual obligations, and industry-recognized best practices. It is best to visualize the SCF as a buffet of cybersecurity and privacy controls, where there is a selection of 1,000+ controls available to you. Once you know what is applicable to you, you can generate a customized control set that gives you the controls you need to address your statutory, regulatory, and contractual obligations. There is no sales pitch for using the SCF. The SCF is a free resource. so there is no financial incentive for us to make companies use it. This is because for companies that have just one to two compliance requirements, the SCF might be considered overkill for your needs, while for companies that have 3 or more compliance requirements, like an organization that has requirements to address ISO 27002, SOC 2, PCI DSS, and GDPR, then the SCF is a great tool to streamline the management of cybersecurity and privacy controls. The crosswalk mapping for the SCF is expert-derived content, which means it is manually mapped by subject matter experts. This process is described on this graphic. First, we identify a new focal document, which is usually a law that incorporates cybersecurity and data privacy requirements, then determine whether it is applicable to the SCF. If it is, we then add a new column to the SCF and perform crosswalk mapping according to NIST IR 8477 Set Theory Relationship Mapping Principles, or otherwise known as STRM mapping. We then analyze the law's requirements and determine if a new control is required to meet its requirements. If so, we create the control to address it, develop applicable metadata for the new distinct control statement, and conduct a peer review of the SCF once it is all done. After the peer review, the new version of the SCF is released. If you would like to learn more about the SCF, please feel free to make yourself a pot of coffee or your preferred beverage. Navigate our website and read the wealth of information that we provide for free. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us, and we are happy to help.